The Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, issued a grim forecast that 2023 will witness an early onset of rainfall accompanied by flooding in over 20 states of the Federation. Although NIMET forecast has predicted a largely normal rainfall pattern, it is also indicated a high possibility of flash floods in some states, including the FCT. And talking about the FCT, it is the peak of the rains and the Federal Capital Territory. Yesterday, Friday, 23rd of June, witnessed torrential rain that lasted more than 5 hours. And this triggered the perennial flash flood in Trademore Estate. And the estate is prone to flooding. The Trademore Estate is in the news again as residents of the estate in Lugbe, Abuja are counting their losses after many houses were submerged and people trapped for several hours. Now, Saturday Discourse will be looking at the recurrent flooding in Trademore Estate, Lugbe, and possible solution to the flood-prone areas. Although no life was lost, the flood overwhelmed residents as joint rescue efforts paid off to save lives of affected persons. Good evening and thank you for joining us on today's edition of Saturday Discourse. I am Tessie Omeri. You're welcome. Now to the news of the day. Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made his first presidential diaspora engagement in France. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Osman Jibrila reports that the meeting brought together Nigerians from Europe.
On your mandate we shall stand.
We have been very impressed by the decision you took to eliminate the subsidy.
We need to work out and to think how Nigerians could keep representing Nigeria.
When I got the mic, I told them about the things happening in Nigeria and your policies that has happened in the past 3 weeks. The whole delegation wrote to me and told me they would be happy to come to Nigeria in the next few weeks.
When we have been campaigning, we are totally 100% it's going to happen. So we have no doubts, we just have prayers.
After giving several testimonies of a good start by the Tinubu government, this group of patriots living across Europe, main concern is creating an enabling environment for investors. Nigeria, a country blessed with human and capital resources, according to them, can attain speedy economic growth with the removal of fuel subsidy and unification of the currency.
The interesting thing about this particular engagement is the extremely short time frame within which it was put together. And for that, because I know the President's program is extremely congested, it is congested. He has a lot of his counterparts here, other presidents from various parts of the world, wishing to see him. And just today, he has seen 2 heads of state. So, but he kept asking me, and he kept saying, what about the diaspora? What about the Nigerian diaspora? What about the Nigerian? He kept saying that. So, and that tells us what? It tells us that he is very much interested in this meeting.
In Sudan. So we have Nigerians here who are doing great things back home. We have Nigerians to be proud of. And we have Nigerians who, as Mr. Aleke has said, are very excited about the hurricane steps you have taken as president. And the image has changed all of a sudden, and it's like we all want to come back home to Nigeria.
President Bola Tinubu gave his usual commitment of taking a more holistic approach at the recovery of the country's economy from the impact of COVID-19 and rising cases of poverty to provide access to finance and investment that will leverage inclusive growth and development.
Nigeria belongs to all of you, all of us. Our diversity is an asset if we know how to use it for our prosperity. Born of the same father, in the same house, except living in different rooms. We must promote unity, stability, and economic justice for every one of us.
The president received several gifts from his host, including the famous Real Madrid defender David Olatokunbo Alaba. From the French capital Paris, Abraman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
And in the same vein, President Bola Tinubu on Friday concluded his official trip to Paris, France, during which he had an outstanding participation in the summit for a new global financing pact hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron. Participation at the event where he represented Nigeria, President Tinubu also held high-profile sideline meeting with fellow heads of states and governments, global business leaders and chief executives of leading multilateral and development finance institutions from around the world. The summit afforded the president the opportunity of projecting on a global stage his advocacy for widening the fiscal space, economic justice for Africa, as well as accelerates the pace of energy transition and the urgency of addressing the pressing issues of poverty and climate change. President Tinubu, who was initially scheduled to be back in Abuja on Saturday, now will proceed to London, United Kingdom for a short private visit. The president will be back in the country in time for upcoming Eid-el-Kabir festival. This is signed by Dele Alake, Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy. And the Speaker, House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has urged relevant authorities to swing into action to avert the recurrence of the magnitude of floods that ravaged the Trademore Estate in Lugbe, Abuja, and destroying property worth millions of naira. In a reaction to the incident, the Speaker sympathizes with the residents of the area over the unfortunate incident. He says it is regrettable that people going about their normal lives found themselves in with their families. The Speaker urged the public to heed to early warning by relevant government agencies to mitigate the impact of flood in the country. Still talking flood, normal life activities have returned to the Trademore Estate, which was flooded on Friday. Abdullahi Ajia brings us updates from the area.
Barely 24 hours into the unfortunate Friday flood incident at the Trademore Mega City Estate in Lugbe, residents and the community here have since picked their paces to continue with life as life has gone back to normal. But they're still taking stock of what is missing and what is remaining.
It was terrible and it was hell yesterday. In fact, to give thanks and a very mighty glory Lord Most High, at least for saving lives.
Since that yesterday, we didn't find any life dead. But suddenly there's one man, Uber driver, that bring blue pigeon here. The man mix. That is the only person that missed there. So let them come and do something about this place.
The problem of that Trademore Estate is where they channeled the water. The water came from Lokogoma, Karadimawa, and when they channeled the water to Trademore Estate, coming to Main Road where the water pass, it cannot, very small culvert where the water pass. Even as I'm coming back yesterday, the water cover service lane.
The ripple effects of the flood extends to other locations like Lugbe 1 Extension, Kapwa Road, some kilometers north of the Trademore Estate, leaving its relics of destruction on the community.
Almost cutting off our road, and the huge amount that we spent fixing this road is all gone now. This culvert that you see here was built by the community. This is beyond us as a community to fix. If nothing is done about it, then we are cut off entirely.
Residents of the community reiterate that lasting engineering solutions is needed to put a stop to this perennial challenge. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Thank you, Ajia, for that update. Water, they say, must find its way. And I have with me in the studio to discuss, to shed more light on the current situation in Lugbe, the Director General, FC Emergency Agency, Dr. Abbas Idris. Thank you for joining us on Saturday Discuss.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. Trademore Estate again, because I know this is not like the first time, it's not like the second time.
Yeah.
So we say again, with the magnitude of flood. I don't know.
Well, it's very unfortunate, and I really want to sympathize with the residents of the Trademore Estate, especially, and also commend them for putting efforts in making sure that no life was lost. This is commendable, and we've been calling on the communities to also emulate from what they have done. Normally, the communities that are affected by any disaster, they are the first responders to themselves, so that they don't complicate issues. Before our arrival, they have made a lot of impact, and which they have mobilized other people to support them. That's apart, and Trademore has been on the news. It will continue to be on the news as long as Trademore exists where they are, because so they are sitting on the waterways.
When you say it will continue to be on the news, what is the FCT administration doing?
Well, the FCT administration has had a series of meetings with them and giving them the direction of what to do. Okay. And then, as far as I'm concerned, whose the responsibilities is on my shoulders, because when it happens, the whole world look at me, and so I feel my own way to get this sorted out is different from their own way. My own is that to really take away the entire estate, put them somewhere so that we can have free flow of water instead of having this daily or annual reoccurrence of these uncertainties. And anybody who is living in Trademore today, he doesn't have peace of mind, especially when he see the clouds is changing. Exactly. Yeah. And then the climate change is real. It doesn't have to happen here. It doesn't have to rain here. The rain that was in Trademore yesterday was not the rain that fell in Abuja. It came from somewhere. But I had somebody saying that when they release water, nobody is releasing water. This is a natural water coming, taking its way to the discharge point. And it will continue to happen. And this is just 2 months into the onset of the rainfall in Abuja, and we have already had this bad experience.
Were suggesting that it should be an engineering solution rather than demolition. What's your take?
Well, how can you do that? Abuja is well planned. All the routes, it's just like the way to your house now. It's already tarred and everything. Somebody will now say, direct the road to follow another place to do it. The master plan has already specified all the waterways in the city. And going to, maybe people doesn't know. They thought this water at a point just go to get sprayed somewhere. It goes to Gurara River, directly from the FCT going to Gurara River. And so, do you want it to go to another river apart from Gurara River? Which river do we get? Already these people have already mapped out. That is the only channel. That's the only channel. So if you take it away from this because you want to skip Trademore, it will affect another people. It will affect another. And this waterway was not creation of FCT. It wasn't. Already that is the passage. And then the master plan adopted it. So you cannot change it. It's a natural course.
Now, talking about it being a natural cause, and the FC administration is aware of it, one wonders how these people still get approval, to build.
There is no approval. There's no approval
when you go
building.
to the field, you hear them say,
Let them show you. Let them show you. If there is any approval with them, could be maybe local government approval, not really development control approval. Because development control, these 116 houses that were submerged yesterday, they were almost all of them were marked for demolition. So, if development control have given them approval, why should they mark it for demolition? So, the fact remains that for them, for their safety of lives, they should find an alternative residence. That is residential. Honestly, that is my honest advice. The ultimate in that place, there's no way, because the more you remove more houses, the more because the entire landscape is the waterways. So the more you remove, the more water will find its way again, and then it will touch on other houses, and then before it passes. So the best thing is for them to really get an alternative accommodation and leave the place. Their lives is more important. And FCT cannot afford to lose one life in that place. Sure. Last year, we were able to at least safeguard lives and property by the grace of God. And so this year, we cannot afford to do that. Even one life is very important. So it's better for the FCT to remove the entire estate and save life than one life to be lost.
So now tell us, how is FEMA prepared for these types of situations?
We are. In fact, that is a flashpoint for us. And Lokogoma and Trademore is the most notorious two estates that we have. Lokogoma because they lack engineering infrastructure. The same thing with Trademore because they don't have any infrastructure, and then also their position is not really approved by the government. Because it is not a suitable point that government can give approval.
Okay.
That is
your final thoughts with us briefly before we round up the discussion segments, your final advice?
Well, I advise the residents of the FCT to really abide by the early warning issued, and we'll continue to issue the early warning because of what is happening. You can see the climatic change in the whole thing. Things have been changing. We've been hoping that today with the rain, at least we couldn't hear anything, so we are happy to that about that. So the resident of the FCT should please abide by the early warning. And then if you know you are living in a floodplain, on a floodplain or a waterway, please, it is advisable you relocate because, like I said, it doesn't have to rain here because it is a way, it's a runoff way to the discharge point. It can come and catch you sleeping. And so if you know you are living on a floodplain, and you are also living on a flood-prone area or waterways, please relocate to a higher ground or alternative accommodation.
Thank you so much, the Director General, FC Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Idris Abbas, for coming on the program tonight.
Having me.
And that's it on the discussion segment. The news continues after this break. Do stay with us.
Malama, Allah ki bani katin bulo na 1000.
Na 1000? Can. To shikenan yanzu nan zaka ga alert. Me yake damun ka? Me aka yi maka kake wannan ihun malam?
Ba dole in ihu ba. Wannan malamar ce na ce ta bani katin bulo na 1000. Ta je ta sa min katin 10,000. Ta ya zan iya biyan wannan?
Wannan ai garabasa bulo take yi. Idan ka saka 1000 za su rubanya maka shi domin ya koma 10,000. Shine muke kira 10 times airtime bonus.
Amma fa abun nan kai mamaki.
Abokina ka kwanta da hankalinka. Kaga wannan 10,000 bulo ne ta baka kyauta. That one mean say na 10 times I will Glo give you. Times.
Kwarai kuwa kai ma za ka iya samun 10 times airtime bonus idan ka sai kati a layin Glo ɗinka. Sai sabon layin Glo.
Thank you for staying with us. 300 special co-marshals and volunteers of the Federal Road Safety Corps have embarked on a monthly patrol, this time to educate and enlighten motorists on the need for safety and obedience to law and order. Safia Uche reports on the monthly patrol.
Are men and women of proven integrity with the knowledge and training of how to influence their immediate environment. Receiving briefing on what is expected of them, these special corps marshals were shared in units to carry out the enlightenment safety within and outside Lugbe Command.
Lugoma is having some traffic peculiarities known for that area. And the Lugbe, which is another part of the FCT, has its own peculiarities as well. So the special marshals, when they come together like this, it gives them an idea of what is traffic management as far as FCT is concerned.
Some are going from one junction to the other for traffic management, while some are going to the parks for public enlightenment.
You are to give to the nation. You are going to give, you are going to work for your nation.
We are not just on the road because we want to be on the road. Officially, as it is, we are an arm of road safety that is empowered by the law to do the things we do.
Total knowledge on the vehicle and its maintenance were carried out to vehicle owners at Lugbe Park and various units. The 300 special corps marshals have dispersed to various areas around Lugbe, namely Trademore Junction, Timbershade, FHA, Dunamis U-turn, Piakasa, and also after Dunamis Junction before Akko Bridge. Now they are to maintain law and order, enlighten motorists, and also maintain safety. A similar activity is carried out in various states of the Federation. Safia Noma Uche, NTA News.
Now, at a period that insecurity threatens the collective peace and dreams of Nigerian people, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps FT Command is looking to harness and strengthen internal assets to bolster intelligence-driven service delivery. In view of this, the command has ended a 3-day internal training for intelligence operatives of the Corps. Security correspondent Onotu Yakubu brings us highlights of the closing ceremony.
For 3 days, these intelligence operatives of the NSCDC have been drawn from all area commands, divisions and outposts to camp at the command's headquarters. The target is to recalibrate them through an in-house experience to evolve strategies that have direct bearing and impact to strengthen intelligence-driven approach to crime fighting. FCT Commandant of the Corps, Peter Megeri, says the constant evolving nature of crime means that those saddled with the responsibility of tackling it must constantly equip themselves with modern techniques in intelligence gathering and analysis. The commandant enjoined the retrained operatives to return to their areas of responsibilities and deploy knowledge acquired to enhance operational rules of engagement to address the challenges. In Abuja, Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
And now to education. Be a disciple of Christ. Show charity to everyone you come across. Above all, always pray and ask God for direction. These are the words of admonition of guests at the Brigham Young University Pathway Graduation Abuja campus. Rosemary Motile Bilal reports that 134 students successfully graduated and qualified to start their degree program.
Brigham Young University Pathway is a process where students undergo courses for 1 year before they qualified for proper degree. BYU Pathway is a Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints school worldwide. It was created to serve online students and to help them in their degree program. The International Area Manager, Victor Okoribe, said that the program is to help students increase in faith in Jesus Christ, as well as build hope in their spiritual confidence.
They should remember who they are and what they've learned from this experience. They have to go out and make a difference, and we are counting on them.
Zonal leader Abuja, Elder Basi Okpeyong, charged the graduating students to be good ambassadors of Christ.
There is no limit. Keep studying, enroll in BYU Idaho, continue their education, and also develop their career, learn of skill to be self-reliant.
And for the graduating students, they express satisfaction with the institution's performance.
I feel so good, and I'm highly inspired by what those who have gone ahead of us to experience this has said to us today.
Completion of this program has equipped me with the necessary skills and knowledge to pursue that degree online. I am very confident in my ability.
This will also equip me to be a better disciple of Jesus Christ and also be a better tool in my society to give back to my society big time.
The school came to Nigeria in 2015, and today a total of 134 students have successfully graduated in more than 61 courses. Rosemary Montelen Bilal, NTA News.
Workers from different ministries and agencies of government under the auspices of Federation of Public Service Games have converged on the training pitch of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, for their monthly Keep Fit exercise. Francisca Bile has more.
The June edition of the Federation of Public Service Games Walk and Jog exercise provided another opportunity for workers from different ministries, departments and agencies, including the Nigerian Television Authority, to keep fit. The exercise, which had the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, Monilola Udo, as the captain, saw participants taken through different exercise drills aimed at helping them become healthier and more productive.
Fitness is life, and when we have a body that is fit, physically fit, we will be mentally strong to deliver on our work.
We are looking at how FEFGA can also produce athletes that will add value.
Leader of NTA delegation, Director Programs Lawal Ahmed, assured of the authority's continued participation as it places premium on a fit workforce.
Exercise is an important activity because it keeps away stress. It gives you some mental alertness.
If people can create time to do this, it will go a long way in helping the longevity of a lot of people in the country.
As a way of encouragement, awards and trophies were given to the top 3 teams who excelled in punctuality, behavior, attendance, and kits. The next edition of the exercise is slated for last Saturday in July. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Brief.
Incumbent president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Ibrahim Musa Gusau, has stated that the fate of the current head coach of the Super Eagles, Jose Pizarro, will depend on the public opinion of fans. The statement by the president was made on a live podcast when he was asked about the head coach's contract, which expires at the end of the month. He said they have plans to push it to the forum to make sure that Nigerians air their views, stating that they tried the foreign coaches and local coaches and it feels like they still have problems, but they will push the decision to the public to hear their views on the fate of Jose Pizarro if he leaves or stays on the job. He also stated that regarding the question of going for an indigenous coach, that too will be pushed to the public space as well. Meanwhile, Nigeria's under-17 female basketball team have defeated their Ghanaian counterparts in a bombarding 73-24 match win at the Eden Heights, Ghana, during the ongoing FIBA Under-16 Zone 3 qualifiers. It was Wayne Dogo, NTA News.
And that's it on Saturday Discourse. We thank you for your time. See you next week for another package. Good evening.